There are some disappearances that feel like they were created for a movie. Cases where everything seems ordinary at first. A normal night, a simple mistake, a quick phone call. And then suddenly, without warning, everything twists into something baffling, something chilling. The disappearance of 19-year-old Brandon Swanson is one of those cases. To this day, what happened on the night of May 14, 2008 remains one of the most haunting unsolved mysteries in modern America. It is a case that feels almost impossible. There is no body, no clothing, no phone, no footprints, no final clue, nothing, just a scream, a phone call, and a silence that has lasted for more than 17 years. It was a cool spring night in Minnesota. Brandon had spent the evening celebrating the end of his first year of college with friends in a nearby town. He wasn't known to be reckless. He wasn't known to get into trouble. He was responsible, friendly, and extremely close to his parents. Shortly after midnight, he decided it was time to head home. The drive wasn't long, maybe 30 minutes. He had done it many times with no issues. But that night, Brandon made a wrong turn. One wrong road in rural Minnesota can send you into a maze of dark gravel paths, endless fields, and unmarked backroads. And that is exactly what happened. His car eventually slipped off the edge of a gravel path and into a shallow ditch. The car wasn't damaged, it wasn't flipped, it wasn't stuck in mud. It was simply angled too awkwardly for the wheels to grip. So Brandon did something simple. Something harmless. He took out his phone and called his parents. At 1:54 a.m., his father answered. Brandon explained calmly that he was fine, unhurt, and that he just needed a ride home. He believed he was near the small town of Lind, a place familiar to all of them. His parents got in their truck and began driving toward the area he described. This was the beginning of the 47-minute phone call that still haunts them. As they drove through the dark, empty roads, they kept asking Brandon to look around. Do you see any buildings? Any street signs? Any major landmarks? He responded each time with the same tone, calm, patient, confident. He said he could see lights in the distance. He said they were likely from the town. He said he would walk toward the lights if he needed to. But there was a problem, one that no one realized yet. Brandon was completely wrong about where he was. And his parents were searching miles away from his actual location. The conversation went back and forth, getting slightly more frustrating as time passed. At one point, his father honked the truck's horn and asked if Brandon could hear it. Brandon said no. That should have been the first warning. After nearly 40 minutes of trying to guide them to his location, Brandon grew tired of standing still. He told his parents that he was going to walk toward the lights he saw. He believed the town was straight ahead. His parents continued driving slowly, scanning the darkness, headlights cutting through the night. The phone stayed to Brandon's ear. His father kept talking to him, keeping him company while he walked. Nothing sounded unusual. Nothing sounded dangerous. Just a boy walking in the dark, heading toward what he believed was safety. But then, everything changed. In the middle of a normal sentence, Brandon suddenly shouted, "Oh!" A sharp, startled cry, not a long scream. More like a quick burst of fear or pain. And then, rustling, a scuffle, movement, and then silence. The call didn't disconnect. The line was still open, but Brandon never spoke another word. His father kept saying, "Brandon, Brandon, are you okay? What happened?" When the sun came up, Brandon's parents contacted police. At first, authorities assumed this was a classic teenager stayed the night somewhere and will show up later situation. Hours were wasted, but when they finally began searching, everything became even more confusing. Using cell phone tower data, investigators discovered that Brandon wasn't anywhere near the town he thought he was heading toward. He was over 20 miles away, in a completely different area surrounded by farmland, rivers, and open fields. Search teams scanned the area. Eventually, they found Brandon's car exactly. Specially trained bloodhounds were sent in. The dogs picked up Brandon's scent and began following a clear path. He had walked through fields, along a fence line, down a gravel path, and eventually toward a river known as the Yellow Medicine River. The scent trail led directly to the water's edge. But here is where things become strange. The dogs didn't stop at the river. They crossed it, meaning Brandon almost certainly walked through the river that night. On the other side, the dogs continued following his trail for a few hundred more feet. And then the scent suddenly vanished, completely, as if Brandon evaporated into the night. This was one of the most baffling parts of the entire case. There was no sign that he drowned, because dogs can smell a body in water. There was no sign that he collapsed, because nothing was found. And there was no sign he walked further, because the trail ended sharply. It's as if whatever happened to him happened right after he crossed the river. People have tried to solve this case for years, but almost every theory runs into a dead end. 1. He drowned in the river. Dive teams searched that river for months. A body would have surfaced eventually. It never did. 2. He died from exposure after leaving the river. Possible. But what about his clothing? His phone, his remains, nothing turned up. 3. Animal attack. Highly unlikely. An attack leaves evidence, and trained dogs would have detected remains. 4. Hit by a car on a remote road. There were no reports of a damaged vehicle, no glass, no tire marks, no clothing fibers. 5. Abduction. This is a popular theory online, but there is no physical sign of another person. 6. The second location theory. This one is the most chilling. Brandon crossed the river, walked a short distance, and then something happened to him at a second location that left zero evidence. But what? No one knows.